I kind of feel like that's all we need this morning. Thank you, Mark. Just wonderful, wonderful beginning. Welcome to everyone here in this house of light and love, made sacred by the love of generations. And welcome whomever is out there in the wider internet world watching the service. Good to see everyone this morning on this Sunday before Christmas. There are plenty of announcements in your order of worship. I draw your attention to the announcements and the calendar that's there, including next Sunday's pancake breakfast to welcome in the new year, and of course Christmas Eve service at 5 o'clock this Christmas Eve, Wednesday evening. Are there any other announcements? Well, that's remarkable. Here end the announcements. May our service continue. (10:03), winter solstice, passed just a couple of minutes ago. How about that? Winter solstice, 7th day of Hanukkah, 4th Sunday in Advent, and a few days before Christmas. What a special time to be surrounded by these poinsettias. Thank you all who contributed. Yes, as we gather to celebrate light, overcoming darkness, gathered to celebrate love, overcoming hate, yes, overcoming hate, gathered here in this place, I'll say it again, made sacred by the love of generations, made sacred by our love this day, gathered to renew the love in our hearts, to resolve to bring that love and kindness and understanding one to another as we live our days, to our neighbors, to a hurting world. And it is good in this spirit to gather. Let us sing. I think you know this one. Number 246, O Little Town of Bethlehem, 246 in your gray hymn books. I don't... Please be seated. I'll invite Rich, there you are, to come forward and light our chalice as we together recite the covenant of Second Parish printed in your order of worship. With love for each other and with respect for each person's search for truth and meaning, we unite to be of service to our neighbors and thank you, Rich. Well, I'd like to invite the children who aren't already up front to come on up front for a little time together. Good morning. Is there a special day coming up on Thursday? What would that be? You bet. Guess you're the only one that knows. No, I think you all know. Christmas is coming. And other things go on at this time of year, including, I mentioned the solstice, which is the darkest time of year, and we just passed the solstice. But at night, you may notice that the stars, because it's so dark this time of year, if it's clear, the stars are particularly bright. So I thought we would start our time together by singing a song, not particularly a Christmas song, that you all know, everybody knows. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Oh, they were singing too. I think they all know it. Well, so stars often have a place in this season in the stories that are told, including. Now I know Santa's coming on Thursday, but whose birth do we celebrate on Christmas? You know? Jesus, that's right. And there are so many stories told about Jesus, who went about being a wonderful teacher, telling us how to live with love and kindness to everybody and to make the world a better place. Well, he, just like us all, he was a baby once. And at the time that he was born, a story told, we don't know how true it is or not, but it's a beautiful story. Lots of stories, but one of them is that 3 magi, sounds a little like a magician, these were wise ones. They happened to be men. Maybe they were women, and we just didn't hear about it. That could happen. But there are 3 magi who lived way far away from Bethlehem, where Jesus was born, but they saw a star a little before that time, just a few days, maybe a week or two, and it was very bright. Now, some people think maybe it was a comet, maybe it was an exploding star, a supernova. We don't know, but they were very smart, and they studied the heavens, they studied the stars, and they thought that a star like that, so bright, meant something very important was going to happen. And so they followed where the stars seemed to lead them, and they ended up in Bethlehem. And where did they end up exactly? At a grand palace, or where? And where was he? That's right. Where was he born? In what kind of place? Yes. A manger, a place with animals. There was no room at the hotel. Yes. He was born in my inn. In your inn? Well, that's cool. Well, there was no room. They called them inns then, kind of a hotel or a motel. No space. It was very crowded. Everybody was going to Bethlehem to pay their taxes. But these 3 men are sometimes known as kings. And we have a little scene here with the 3 kings, or magi, Mary and Joseph. On your way out, you can take a look. And Jesus. And there were shepherds, too. Whoops, he's taking a rest. There were shepherds, too, and they saw the star. They were right nearby, and they came to see what was going on. And there was the baby. And they had brought gifts, maybe not suitable for a baby, gold and some spices, but it meant that they knew This was a special baby. All babies are special, of course. But they thought he was going to have quite a life. And they were right. There's a song, a Christmas hymn, that goes along with the story. And all those people out there, the adults probably know it, and some of you may know it, the first verse anyway. I grew up, I only knew the first verses because that's all we sang at home when my mother played the piano. There are other verses. We're just going to sing one verse. And it's called, because I said sometimes they were thought of as kings. And it's, we three kings of Orient, that's kind of where they lived, of Orient are. So I'm going to play it, and if you know it, sing. And if you don't, listen. It tells some of the story about how they followed the star. You can all sing, too. We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we traverse afar. Field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star of royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Oh, that's good, and some of you did know it. So, it's a beautiful story about a star and how it can lead us to something special. So when you look at the night sky in the next few days on the clear nights, take some time, because the sun sets early, take some time to look up and maybe find one star and just imagine how huge the universe is. Billions and billions and billions of stars. And we're part of it. And remember that too, that we are part of this wondrous, wondrous place. And we should live as if we knew it, taking care of each other and taking care of our earth home right here. So in that means living in the Christmas spirit all year long with love and kindness and understanding. So we're going to sing you out. Have a wonderful morning in your Sunday adventures. Mark, let's sing them out. Well, as I said at the outset, this is a season of multiple festivals and days to recognize, including we are near the end of Hanukkah on the Jewish calendar, and so our responsive reading is in honor of the Hanukkah lights. Number 629 in our hymn books, and Susan will lead the congregational responses so that folks at home can hear the whole thing too. 629 at the back of our hymn books. We gather in the chill of winter solstice, finding warmth from each other, nourishing hope where reason fails.
Grateful for small miracles, we rejoice in the wonder of light and darkness, and the daring of hope.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation.
You made us holy with your commandments and called us to kindle the Hanukkah lights.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation.
You perform miracles for our ancestors in days of old at this season.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation.
You have kept us alive. You have sustained us. You have brought us to this moment.
Blessed be. As we hear our solo, we're invited, if you like, if the Spirit moves you, to find one of the cards or paper in your pew and write down a joy or a sorrow or a concern that you'd like to have shared afterwards. And now our solo. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Now, if you hold up your card, ushers will collect them and bring them forward, your joy or sorrow or concern. Grant peace in the hearts of all those feeling lost, overwhelmed, and in pain. Yes, may it be so. It is such a joy to return to this beautiful sanctuary after 2 weeks away, made even more beautiful with candy cane columns and poinsettias everywhere. Yeah, I was away for 2 weeks too, and it's wonderful to be here in this season. Pushing down the feelings of being overwhelmed with everything that needs to get done by the Christmas deadline and embracing the beauty of the season. Awfully good advice for all of us. Gratitude, when we seek under the weight of life's challenges, it lifts us up when we remember that others suffer as well. Yes, we are all in this thing called life with its joys and sorrows together. Good to remember. Important to remember. Let us remain seated as we sing Spirit of Life, number 123, and I believe also printed in your order of worship. Join in the continued spirit of meditation and prayer. Gracious Holy One of many names, Spirit and source of life and love resting in our hearts and among us. May we open our eyes to light shining in the darkness for all in need as we pray the yearnings of our hearts. For those here holding whatever measure of sadness or suffering that might be theirs or their families or dear ones. For all, wherever they may be, who are without a home, without enough to eat, or without peace in their neighborhoods or their nations. As we approach the end of the celebration of Hanukkah, prayers of the heart for our Jewish friends and neighbors, and for some family, indeed for Jews all around the world still in mourning for the horrific terrorist attack at a celebration by the sea of the first night of Hanukkah. Too many, all too often, living in fear for unfounded hate. And as Christmas approaches, may this season of joy and hopes for peace remind us, in spite of too much sadness and grief and suffering in this world of ours, inspire us once again to resolve to be among the helpers and the healers, to be among those who bring love and joy to our often troubled world and hurting neighbors in need of much love and joy, which we can share. Now may we enter the silence led by the bell. Now may we pray together in unison prayer of St. Francis printed in your order of worship. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, it is in dying to self that we are born to eternal life. Amen. We come to our time of offering of our financial resources in order to support the work that has been going on for generations in this congregation that will continue for long into the future, work to support our community within and to reach out beyond to others to bring goodness and love. Our morning offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Christmas time is here, happiness and sweet, fun for all.
sing together our doxology. Reading is in here. The reading, some of you may be familiar with by Carl Sagan, with whom you certainly are familiar, called The Pale Blue Dot, and it's meant to accompany a photo that perhaps you've seen taken from way out in our solar system, which reveals the Earth as a pale blue dot. This little dot has to be almost circled so you can make it out in the vastness of the galaxy, much less the universe. And so here is his reflection. We succeeded in taking that picture from deep space. And if you look at it, you see a dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever lived out their lives. The aggregate of all our joys and sufferings, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilizations, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every hopeful child, every mother and father, every inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. The Earth, he went on, is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena. Think of the rivers of blood spilled by all the generals and emperors so that in glory and triumph they could become momentary masters of a fraction of a dot. Think of the endless cruelties visited by the inhabitants of one corner of the dot on scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner of the dot. How frequent their misunderstandings, how eager they are to kill one another, how fervent their hatreds. Our posturings, our imagined self-importance, the delusion that we have some privileged position in the universe, all of this challenged by this point of pale light. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great enveloping cosmic dark. In our obscurity, in all this vastness, there's no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. It is up to us. It's been said that astronomy is a humbling, and I might add, a character-building experience. To my mind, there is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, Carl Sagan concludes, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly and compassionately with one another and to preserve and cherish that pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known. Here ends the reading. Before I continue, I invite us just to pause for a moment to bring to mind's eye, if it hasn't already, that image of a pale blue dot, our Earth home, and ponder a bit all that Carl Sagan's words evoke for us. We'll just pause for a moment. Astronomers have been telling us for a little while now that there are likely several billion stars in our Milky Way that are likely to have what are described as Earth-like planets surrounding them. That means planets about the right distance from their star to have a range of temperatures maybe suitable to life, and planets that are rocky like the Earth, somewhat close in size to the Earth, maybe suitable to life, something as we know it. Not that we know there is life, much less intelligent life, however we might understand intelligence, but I'm intrigued to know that we just might have several billion neighbors in our little, comparatively speaking, galaxy. Maybe a few of them intelligent. So I wonder, what difference would it make, does it make, in the way that we understand ourselves, our human species, our little planet, if we realize that we might not be alone as far as living beings go in the vastness of the universe? What difference might it make, further, if we assume that we might be contacted by intelligent life from elsewhere? Well, we might realize that we should behave a little better, clean up our act, tidy up our little planet, make ourselves presentable to possible visitors. I mean, after all, we vacuum, we straighten things out, we put aside petty family disputes if we're expecting visitors. So why not clean up our planet, put an end to those petty disputes, to prepare to welcome guests from as farther away than, say, Scituate or Springfield or Sacramento? Reminds me of the story of, maybe you've heard of, the parish priest somewhere who looks out his window and he sees Jesus walking up the street to his church. He quickly calls the Vatican and says, "What should I do? Jesus is about to come in the door." Just as quickly, the response comes back, "Look busy." Well, of course, we need to do more than look busy in order to be more presentable to a galactic visitor. If anything, we're a little too busy about things that don't matter so much already. And if we can't manage the complete cleanup, we might want to have a question or two for that galactic visitor. If we haven't been able to straighten up our act. Might be something like this, as an LA Times writer once suggested, a question for such a visitor. Does your planet have clean air, clean water, no hunger, no war, and a functioning democracy? And if so, how did you do it? We would want to know. Well, we can hope that we don't. We better hope that we don't have to wait for communication from afar to have answers to that sort of question or questions. Indeed, in the Pale Blue Dot reading, Carl Sagan said we just don't have time to wait for help from afar to save us from ourselves. He was, of course, quite correct. And after all, there is intelligent life on Earth. Certainly, brain power, as witness the most recent and always new technological marvel or scientific discovery, plenty of brain power to go around. And though sometimes in spite of appearances, there's actually plenty of love power, heart power, moral power too, moral intelligence. We do indeed have plenty of examples of moral intelligence from the prophets and sages of all times and places throughout history, as well as plenty of ordinary people who are kind and loving human beings every day. Do we have such enough intelligence? That's the question. Enough such intelligence to collectively meet our challenges? Well, as Carl Sagan said, it's up to us to discover if that's true through our actions. And we can at the very least, begin with ourselves. I'm reminded of this by the centering thought that I put at the top of our order of worship this morning from Mother Teresa, one of those exemplars after all. She, in that thought, seemed to assume that we each have that sort of moral intelligence of the heart to, as she wrote, or said, spread love wherever you go. Let no one ever come to you without leaving happier. Now, I came across that just a week or two ago, and it's a helpful reminder every day. In our casual meetings with folks, we can be a little cheerier, a little whatever, if we're able, It's mostly not so hard. You know, the Christmas season encourages us in this sort of thing, but of course, every season it would be a good idea. I was reminded of this just a week ago, Sunday, at the Charlton rest stop on the Mass Pike. We approached the clerk at the convenience store, his name tag read Jimmy, to ask if they carried, because we didn't see any, if they carried any windshield wiper fluid, because the panel on our car said we were low, and as you may remember, it was a snowy, sleety day, and we did not want to run out of the windshield wiper fluid. Well, Jimmy was as friendly as could be, featuring a little stand-up comic presence to begin with, and throughout, actually. I approached and asked the question, do you have any of this stuff? He said, with kind of a sly smile, who's asking? Well, our interchange continued with joking banter, a little more stand-up comic along the way. They did carry it, by the way. Now, does this qualify as spreading love and not just windshield wiper fluid? I think it sort of does. In any case, we were happier leaving than when we'd arrived, and not just because he had supplied us with that essential fluid, so we'd have a better ride home, and also with the paper funnel. At the last minute, just as we were about to go around the corner and pick it up, a paper funnel, so that it was like pulling a rabbit out of a hat, so we wouldn't spill the fluid as we poured it into the, whatever, you know, as we poured it in. Simple, right? Though, as I alluded, it's not always easy for us to do. In our sad times, hard times, difficult times, we may not quite have it in us. Though, if we're able, it can cheer us up to make that effort. But sometimes we're not, and we are encouraged and nourished by others. But I do believe that we all, or most of us, I like to think all, have this innate capacity, as Mother Teresa assumed that we did. This moral intelligence that we could call love in our hearts, along with the capacity to spread love and therefore happiness, and maybe to help make more justice and more peace in the world, and ecological sanity, too. All manifestations of love and care, after all. And doesn't it feel more important these days, more than ever, as immigrants are snatched off the streets, sometimes taken off the line when they're about to give their citizenship oath after years of doing the right thing. And as vitriol and hate is all too common from political figures and others who should know better. Should. And surely not least in the wake of horrific violence, the massacre at Bondi Beach, the killings at Brown and MIT, oh so sad killing of Rob Reiner and Michelle, and so many brutal wars. More important than ever to activate our moral intelligence, you might say. Fortunately, we never need look far to see love overcoming hate at Bondi Beach. We didn't need to look far at all. You've, I expect, all seen the video of that remarkably heroic man, Syrian-born citizen of Australia, Muslim, Ahmed El Ahmed, who ran up and tackled one of the shooters, and then himself was shot, wounded, fortunately not too seriously, but no doubt saving innumerable Jewish and other lives in the process. Yes, as Fred Rogers used to say, you've probably heard this, quoting his mother, when disaster strikes, look for the helpers. There are always helpers. Man, it is true. We see it. Helpers with moral intelligence of the sort that we can never have enough of. The intelligence to know how to bring ideals from head to heart to hands. The intelligence to know that love is indeed more powerful than hate. The intelligence by which we might hope galactic visitors might judge us, not by so much else. And not by the words we say, but by the deeds we do. Words matter, but deeds too. The 18th century moral philosopher, you've all read Kant, I'm sure. When you've heard the name, I was a philosophy major, and it was hard going to get through some of those texts. But one of the Enlightenment philosophers, he influenced Emerson and the other transcendentalists. One of the simple ideas that he proposed, or that he affirmed, we can all resonate to. He said something like this: two things awe me most. Two things awe me the most: the starry sky above me and the moral law within me. Think of that. These two sources of awe, of wonder. The starry sky above, talk to the kids about that, and the moral law within us. He's naming a twofold source of wonder and awe around which I've been circling this morning, right? To gaze in wonder at the immensity of the night sky, expanses beyond our ability to imagine, and to ponder our capacity for neighborly love and just action, this moral law within. Both reminding us that we are not alone. We have so many neighbors, maybe billions, certainly billions and billions and billions of stars, and maybe billions of other creatures in the galaxy and elsewhere in our expanding universe home. To most palpably close at home, the billions of living human beings and other life forms, all our relations, as native peoples often put it, here on the pale blue dot of Earth, including one another right here and down the street and everyone we meet. We have so many neighbors. The Christmas nativity story, perhaps you've already begun to think the same thought. It evokes both senses of awe and wonder, does it not? To begin with, we are told that those three magi from afar were following a bright star, in Kant's starry heavens above. Star of wonder, star of light, as the carol puts it. And where was that star guiding them? The star also shining above the humble shepherds. To thy perfect light, the carol says. The baby born in the humblest of circumstances, to, we might say, refugee parents. This baby in a manger, somehow embodying fully and manifesting love, Kant's moral law within, which that child went on to teach and preach through words and his deeds. And remember, as ancient scriptures of all traditions affirm, God, by whatever name and beyond names, is somehow infinitely large and infinitely small. As large or larger than the universe itself, and as small or smaller, indeed invisible, as the love in our hearts. Maybe especially in the heart of a baby in a manger or a refugee camp or Mass General Hospital or wherever. All of which seems to me, perhaps for you, an apt meditation for this season of solstice, when the night sky in our northern region, even with all the lights around us, is still at the darkest. We can see the starry nights more brightly than at other times of year, offering a bit more of that light to inspire awe and wonder. Apt meditation, of course, as well in this season of approaching Christmas, as we hear again the Christmas story, perhaps awakening in us the possibility of the rebirth of love in our hearts and lives, and just maybe in this troubled world of ours. As we, each in our own way, help to awaken this possibility and all that flows from it by sharing our love, our joy, seeking peace on earth and goodwill to all. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen. Again, together, came upon the midnight clear, and it is number 244 in our gray hymn books. 244. Rise in body or spirit. be seated. O star of wonder and of light, lead us to the Christmas spirit of love, goodwill, and peace, that we might make of ourselves a blessing to one another, a blessing to life this season and always. Merry Christmas. Blessed be.